Hi, this is Suzanne in Ohio. I have something I'd like to share with you today. This is another piece and part to my Seashore journal. Let me get your focus in here. Okay, this is my version of a shaker tag, and I made it into a message in a bottle. I'd like to show you how I made that. These just happen to be all ocean theme, but there isn't any limit to what you could do with this idea. Now, all the girls out there on YouTube are making shaker tags, but since I'm doing Seashore, I thought I should have a message in a bottle, and that could be my version. Okay, so let me show you how I did that and just go through my thought process. The first thing I did was I made the bottles. So I'll show you those. I did make each one of these bottles individually, and then I taped them onto a background so that I could print them all off at one time and get as many bottles on the page as I could. I did them mostly in teal colors and then put a little gold on it. You can further enhance it after you print it off if you need to around the edges with distress ink, or you can leave it as is. Now, I also printed, so that's my master copy right there. Here's one of the pages I printed out. You can see how nice it printed. I did it on best quality so I could get a brighter color. But I also did one in a sepia tone to see if I would like that. I don't like it quite as well, but after I distressed it around the edges with distress ink, it did okay. All right, so I had my bottle there. That's my basic item. Then I had to come up with pieces and parts to put inside. And then I came up with some things here, as you can see. Hey, this is a good time. I want to share this with you. This is inspiration, or it's a famous quote from Chuck Close. Inspiration is for amateurs. The rest of us just show up and get to work. If you wait around for the clouds to part and a bolt of lightning to strike you in the brain, you are not going to make an awful lot of work. All the best ideas come out of the process. They come out of the work itself. Isn't that true? So I laughed and told my sister, this is product development over here. Because you start out with one little idea and then you think of something else. And just to prove that, I had this bag full of bottles that I did first, and then I kept getting more and more ideas. So I'll use those for something or give them away just in a greeting card or something like that. But nothing ever goes to waste. Use them for something. But I think I'm at the end of the ideas for this. So here's what I did. And if you want to try it too, oh, by the way, you can get this full sheet printout of bottles on my Etsy site as a digital download, should you want to make any of your own. And I'll put a link to that listing on my Etsy site. Although my Etsy site is Suzanne in Ohio. All one word, doesn't matter about the capitals, but that's where you can find me. Okay, so the first thing I did was cut out that bottle. And I did leave a tiny, tiny edge around it when I cut it out. You can see there. All right. Then I went online and downloaded some images of treasure maps or treasure island maps. Let's see if I can get this up here. There's a lot of free images online, so I thought that'd make a nice background, so I glued it there. Also, I wanted something on the back because when you turn it over, it should have some interest to it too. So I took a piece of paper. Let me show you what that would have looked like. I took a piece of cardstock and just tore it in this shape, and then stained it around the edge, and my sister put it in her computer. I wasn't able to do it myself at the time. And we put it on a template that gave us like 40 of them on a sheet. Then we went in individually and put little sayings inside these. I also left some blank, as you can see, so that I could write something on it, or maybe I could just glue some of those chatter words that we all have, and that could be the message. But I wanted something on the back, so let me read you this one. We tried to keep it cute. I doubt that you're missing me, but in case you want to visit, coordinates are in the bottle. I'm never returning. I always knew I belonged by the sea. Okay. Now you can see with this bottle, I actually printed it on patterned paper, scrapbook paper, and this one just happened to be a nice green mottled design. Now, you can also see this tiny little piece of paper that I glued along the neck, and that is just to strengthen it. So I saved all my scraps after I cut the bottle out, and I glued a strip on there because that bottleneck needed a little something. So that's why I did that. So after I had that ready, I had seen Crafty Irina's video about making shaker pockets. She has a wonderful video, and I did exactly what she said. So I'll put a link to her video down below. She used plastic that was from a heat laminating machine, but I didn't have any. So I tried the next method, which was sheet protectors. Now, I found out that sheet protectors are not all the same. All right, I had this sheet protector, and I used 2 or 3 of them at first, and it was flimsy, it's thin and a little bit frail, and I had a hard time getting it to glue to itself. So I looked at it, and it says Office Depot. So I wanted to try something different, and I found one that said Staples. You can see the name right there. And that plastic was firmer, and it melted to itself much easier. So this is not my idea. I'm just going to show you a little bit of what Crafty Irina said, and then you can go there and watch her entire video. Very informative. So she does it. The best thing she told me was she does it on a piece of cardboard. This is just a back to a watercolor tablet. And you lay your plastic on there, and I slip it in there, and I just happen to have an old heat tool, and I mean old. I was using it years ago when I was making my own stencils. Now what you can see here is, I wonder if you can see it, the tip of my heat tool is bent. It's melted to a curve. Well, that has served me well, because when I'm using this, I aim that little pokey bent thing down, and then here's basically what I did. I had the end of an old metal crochet hook. I turned it upside down, just used the handle to hold this plastic down to itself as I ran this tool along the edge. And I started at the bottom, came up around the neck, went all the way back down, and then I came down here and left some space. Now, after you do that and you pop it out of the plastic, I use the scissors to cut that back open again, because that will be sealed. But I left plenty of plastic on here so that after I put my ingredients in, then I could close it up with another swipe of the heat tool. So that's how that works. Let's assume that this is in the plastic. And boy, I should have had one at that stage so you can see it. All right. And it's enclosed in the plastic, but the bottom of it is open. So then I just start stuffing in my items like this. Just put them in there. And then we came up with these little help things and hurry, and I'll show you some others in a minute. And then the last thing I put in was 1 or 2 seashells. And then you lay it back down, and then I used the end of that crochet handle and then closed it up. And there you have it. So those are some pieces and parts. And I just happen to have some seashells from when I used to live near the ocean. I was in Jacksonville for 4 years and Daytona Beach for a year, and I brought handfuls of those things. And I've hauled them around with me forever. Boy, was I glad I did. Okay, this is just what my pieces and parts bin looks like. I thought you might like to see. I printed some in a grayscale in case the color went better. And then here's some more of these little sayings. I like one. This one's the cutest one. Don't expect me back anytime soon. Donate my clothes to charity. I won't need them. I'm never coming back. If you want to come visit me, coordinates are in the bottle. So we had fun. If you can think of anything better than that, please let me know. And then here's my little pack of just scraps in case I need to ink something and roll it up. What else do I have in here? Okay, here's the quick and the help. And there's one that says hurry, I think. There's some SOS and the Mayday. My sister thought of the Mayday. She printed it. You can see it right here. She printed it out, Mayday, but then she put the French word, I don't know how to pronounce that. And then SOS, and there's the dots and dashes for SOS. And let's see if there's anything else in here. I have everything right at hand so I can finish putting them together. Oh, we thought of this. She found the names of different popular ocean things, and then she found the coordinates for them. You can do that right online. Just put in coordinates for, such as Daytona Beach, Florida. It's our favorite seashore place in the world. My mom lived in Daytona, and she was only 5 houses in from the ocean on the north side of Daytona. So that's favorite for us. Okay, here's hurry. And then I had some a different Treasure Island map. These printed out in brown, and they were so busy you could hardly see what they were. So I kind of quit using them. But for instance, you could roll up the map. There, I just simply rolled up the map. All right, and put a little string around it. Here's my string for tying things up. See if there's anything else in here you might be interested in. Okay, for the note that's in the bottle, I just simply put this down and get a solid piece of paper here. I just cut the edges to look like it was raggy and heavily distressed it, put some ink on it, distress ink, and then to roll it up nice and tight, what I did was roll it around that tiny little handle of that metal crochet hook. And that gives you a nice tight little roll, and you can put a glue dot or a dot of glue on there just to hold it till you get your string around, and then it won't come open. Also, I have some K & Company scrapbook things. I did buy that whole pack that was Seashore, and it came with a lot of tiny little things. So if you wanted to, you could put one of these on the back of your jar. For instance, you could put that inside your bottle instead of a saying or something like that. There's so many possibilities, but I'll be making a lot more because this is the stage I really liked. I have a rolled up note, Treasure Island map, coordinates, and then some sort of little sentiment, I guess you would call it, and a funny little note on the back. All right, so there's my project. I hope you enjoy it. Message in a bottle, and I'm Suzanne in Ohio. And I appreciate you watching. Be sure and check out Crafty Irina's YouTube video about how to do these. She's so good at explaining. And my Etsy site has the bottles on it should you want to get a digital download of that and do your own. All right. Thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Bye.